I'm standing here on the platform at Fassifern Station, eagerly awaiting the arrival of the next train to Sydney. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, that's what I would have said, had my camera not failed to capture this iconic shot. It was my last opportunity to do so, to film this particular train arriving at this particular station. And it was going to be perfect, man. I'd framed the shot to my liking. I'd rehearsed my intro spiel so I could recite it from memory. I'd given myself just enough time to shoot the train rolling in from the background, and yet 'twas not to be. The fickle data gods demanded a sacrifice, apparently, and loath as I am to humour them, it was far from the worst thing to happen that afternoon. For you see, it was a dark day in Australian history.
What up? I'm Sugar G. Today, we learn about trains.
The V-Series locomotive has serviced this great state of New South Wales for 15 years. Indeed, the newest models were manufactured in the year of our Lord 1989, still several years before this humble reporter was born. A marvel of Australian engineering, these engines were designed and built right here in the penal colony of the eastern coast. However, much like the trend that has been evidenced in other industries of late, they are set to be replaced by inferior Asiatic imports. With little to no fanfare, the V-Series will be retired in lieu of the arrival of the much less patriotic Korean-made D-Series. Today, the 27th of June 2025, marks the ultimate voyage of the V-Series on the Newcastle and Central Coast line.
I've been wanting to make a VSET video for quite some time. I kept putting it off and putting it off until it became apparent that my time was running short to spend with these beloved trains. As fate would have it, I was planning to catch the train today anyway. What I didn't realise was that this coincided with the final day of service on the Central Coast line. Feeling divinely inspired, I sense that God themselves wants me to make this video. VSETs have become synonymous with the train network here on the east coast of Australia. Known for their reliability and comfort, you don't have to look very far to find myriad Facebook groups and Reddit posts singing their praises. So, just what is it that makes VSETs so remarkable? Most comfortable trains on the line, hands down. These ones have actual cushioning. The footrests. Not to mention the best bed on the Sydney train network. Dear God, I'm gonna miss this. The seats flip back and forth, encouraging a much more social experience for the average commuter, or a cheeky footrest for the wayward. On more than one occasion, I have befriended strangers on these trains and played cards in this much more socially conducive configuration. Purple train, purple train. And you can always smoke a joint in between the carriages on a long ride home.
Don't do drugs.
This is incredible. You know, I actually remember the very first time I caught one of these trains. It was when the Sydney Olympics were on. My dad was like, we're going to catch the train, we're going to go to the Olympics. He woke me up before the sunrise. It was the first time I'd ever been awake, and it was dark. You know, you'd think of that experience, I'd remember the Olympic Games the most, but it was actually the train ride that I remember so vividly. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so sentimental about this whole thing, because I just have this formative memory of being on these trains as a little one. First time locomoting, and yeah, it really stuck with me. And the thing that stuck with me the most is the smell. It has this iconic stainless steel, rubber, industrial smell. And I'm gonna miss that. Thanks, bro. Yeah, man, last day of the V-sets. Hell yeah, represent. Now, friends, it wouldn't be a V-set video if we didn't mention the toilets. Hosts of countless tens of thousands of butt cheeks, bodily fluids, late night hookups, etc. I'm actually told these are responsible for the V in VSET, standing for vacuum pumped toilets. So we got to give an honourable mention to the toilets for which these trains are named. In July 1968, the VSETs were commissioned by the Department of Railways and built by the now-defunct Commonwealth Engineering, who were responsible for many trains, buses and trams of that era. The first four-car set ran from Sydney to Gosford on the 22nd of June 1970, and here we are, 55 years later, for their final run on this line. The old VSETs have undergone several reissues and refurbishments in their time. The most recent significant one being the change in upholstery from olive green to brush plum back in 2013. Some true blue, red-blooded Australian deep in my heart longs for the green and gold livery of yesteryear, but as it so happens, national pride has gone the way of the dodo, and so too soon will my beloved VSETs. The amount of wonderful experiences these trains have facilitated in my life are innumerable. Who was always going to be there for me after a long night in Sydney? Or, God forbid, if I got stuck in Wyong at 3 a.m. I'm actually a little emotional about this. I make no secret about my disdain for these new trains, as I see them as a sad indictment of the times. Less social, the seats don't flip around, they've got chargers for your phones, making for a much more dissociative experience. That ain't it. It really does feel like a part of my childhood is dying. I've been catching these trains for as long as I can remember, and the replacement isn't necessarily better. Plus, the seats suck. And let's be real. There is absolutely no way these Korean-made replacements are gonna have the 55-year lifespan that these babies have had. There's just no way. That's bloody Aussie quality for you, mate.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
The other upsetting part is that these VSETs are like one of the last great vestiges of a bygone era when Australian manufacturing was strong, when machines were built to last. It's a cliche sentiment, but it's all too applicable in the modern age. Look at this beast of Australian engineering, the stainless steel stallion. The Rolls-Royce of the New South Wales Trains fleet. And what's it being replaced by? Fucking Temu trains. Great. They took our Falcons, they're taking our VSETs. What next? The Bunnings Snag? The Vegemite? I don't want to hear it, but sadly, we live in this fucking modern world, and this is what we have to put up with. At the very least, I'm grateful I can take one final trip on these magnificent machines and commemorate the fact that these culturally significant icons are being put to rest. And so, to what has been a permanent fixture in the 25 years I've been locomoting, and an impressive 55-year lifespan, we say goodbye and thank you to the VSETs. Unless something drastic changes, we will never again see a fleet of Australian-made passenger trains be so beloved. Class, innit?
Rubbish. I'd like to thank you for traveling with Sydney Intercity Service. Next stop is Central, service ends at Central. Also, just a reminder, today is the last day of this reset services. We'll be running the North Line from today onwards. Marion service replaces all North service. So please enjoy last service you might have with this reset. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Doesn't feel real. These are the final moments I'll ever catch a V-set to Sydney. I can't believe how emotional I am about this. Oh my God. I'll stay on till they kick me off. I spy another V-set. Bye V-set. Well, here we are. Just want to feel you one more time. Look at this stainless steel stallion. Mate. Thanks for the memories. Boy. Time marches ever onward. Do we move with the times, or do we cling desperately to the past? Some people say I'm the most sentimental person they know. I wear that as a badge of honor. Perhaps I imbue things with meaning where others see nothing. But something about these trains just makes me proud and grateful to live in such a time, to have experienced these beauties of the rails. But there comes a time to say goodbye, to know when to let go. And so I do so now, with one final hug. Farewell, friend. I'll see you down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I just ask you a question? Okay, so why is it special to you?
Well, it's an old train. I mean, it's about to be gone and it's really special. I mean, the seats are awesome. I'm always able to take a nice nap, maybe perhaps read a book or something. It's a really wonderful train, and I just really hope that some will be preserved and that in the future, maybe one day I can ride it again. But on the Central Coast Line, it's just the nostalgia of the journey, like traveling from Central all the way to Newcastle in a nice comfy seat, looking out on the Hawkesbury River. It is such a lovely moment to treasure, and I feel like these trains, I mean, sure, the new trains are good and all, but they will never have anything that the old ones will have, which is heart. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks so much.
Lovely meeting you.
Yeah, lovely meeting you as well.
There you go. Everyone's getting a picture. I know, it's huge.
So many photos around here.
I know, I'm sad about it. But these things happen.
Life is life, that's life.
That's life, exactly. Can I give you a fist bump? Cool, man. So good. So what was your name?
Marcus.
Marcus, nice to meet you. I'm Lachlan. Pleasure. How long have you been driving trains for? 4 or 5 years? Okay, cool. So what can you say about this day being the last day of the V-sets on the Central Coast Newcastle line?
It definitely feels... I wasn't expecting it to feel this significant, but then I realised, like, you know, it's nearly 50 years, I think, at this point that they've been running up north, and even, because my dad used to live up north, and so he used to take these trains down here to Sydney, so all that is sort of coming to an end. Like, it's a very long... the amount of history, like, if only these trains, the walls inside could talk, like the amount of stories they could tell.
Oh my God,
like,
yeah.
It's just a very, very long time, and they've been, travelled so many kilometres. It's all coming to an end. So.
And how do you feel about being one of the last to drive one of these on this line today?
I feel very privileged. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling. It feels, every time I just realise the amount of history that's just coming to an end now, it's like, it definitely makes it more significant, but I'm excited, I'm pumped.
I'm excited for you, man. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable journey. And thanks for taking the time to have a chat with me here today. Cool. Take it easy. You just witnessed history. That is the last time I will see a V-set depart for Newcastle from Central Station. I am privileged to be bringing you this footage on this historic day. Thanks for watching. So where does that leave us? For me, this has been quite the profound experience. Who knew that my silly little video about trains would be such an emotional undertaking? For instance, when I saw the footage of the final Newcastle-bound V-set leaving Central, I cried. When I realized my perfect intro video shot live in the field hadn't recorded, I screamed. In both these instances, I was grieving. I had to grieve these things. And maybe, ultimately, that's what this video is about. Learning to let go. Learning to sit more loosely in the saddle of life and not hold so tightly to my ideals. God knows I can be quite set in my ways at times. I felt incensed to make this video because, to me, in our modern lives, there's such little ceremony that I get quite distressed when something meaningful isn't given its dues. So I took it upon myself to memorialise these fixtures of the Sydney train network, thinking no one else would be doing so. What I came to learn, however, was just how much these trains mean to so many people, and how many others were honouring the V-sets in their own way. As for the lost footage, yeah, it sucks. I'm not going to begin to describe how frustrated I was. What I will say though was it reminded me of when I was a kid and I accidentally deleted my Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 game data from one of these. And after the initial outburst had subsided, I ended up beating the game far quicker than ever before. It's not like I'd lost the mental or spiritual progress I'd made to that point. So, really, what is there to complain about? In both events, I see it as an opportunity to create something new. and to humble myself before God and take the road less traveled. If I had my druthers, yeah, I'd look at maintaining the V-sets, or at the very least, putting some comfy seats in the new trains. While I have my gripes with them, I'm not going to focus on that which we don't have, but rather choose to be grateful for that which we do have. We have the memories. I have 99% of the other footage I took. We have more wheelchair-friendly trains. And I can now look to editing my videos on the commute between Newcastle and Sydney thanks to the onboard power sockets, which is going to do wonders for my YouTube channel here. So it ain't all bad. In any event, thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of what I do, please consider subscribing here or on Patreon. I'll see you in the next one.